Different strokes it takes, different strokes it takes.
You're about to become my big brother Arthur.
What you talking about, Willis?
Myself on that spot, and I'm going to torture myself until you cry.
Announcement.
Each assigned very hazardous duty.
Controversial 1970s, sitcoms that vanished forever. What if I told you that some of the most groundbreaking television shows in American history didn't just end, they were systematically erased from existence? You'll come to know the shocking censorship battles that turned living rooms into battlegrounds across America, the secret industry blacklist that buried entire series so deep.
How old are you?
I'm 3.
That even their creators pretend they never existed, and the forbidden episodes that networks would rather burn than let you see again.
You under the covers right now?
But first, the night America's living rooms became war zones. These weren't just sitcoms. They were cultural hand grenades with laugh tracks. And once the pin was pulled, there was no going back.
And then there's Maude.
Then there's more.
Number 25. Maude, 1972 to 1978. B. Arthur's Maude Findlay wasn't just a character. She was a 47-year-old liberal fighter who scared conservative America to death. This wasn't your typical sweet TV mom. Maude talked about things that made people turn off their TVs and write angry letters.
Do you approve of homosexuals?
Arthur, it doesn't matter whether I approve or I disapprove.
The most shocking moment came in November 1972. Maude discovered she was pregnant and decided to get an abortion. CBS aired 2 episodes about it.
Have any trouble finding us? Oh, no, ma'am. I heard you all the way from the bus stop.
And America exploded. Churches organized huge boycotts. Politicians gave angry speeches.
A new place in this shopping center. I thought it was a Mexican restaurant.
Some TV stations refused to show the episodes at all. Over 65 million people watched those abortion episodes, more than watched the Super Bowl that year. Religious groups called Maude evil and anti-family. Advertisers pulled their commercials.
Very intelligent woman, and I'd like to go to bed with you.
Some CBS stations got bomb threats. Maude also talked about alcoholism, depression,
Give it to you? Did they give it to you?
Boy, did they give it to me.
and women's rights in ways that made many viewers uncomfortable. She argued with her husband, fought for equal pay, and spoke her mind about politics. The show won Emmy Awards and stayed popular for 6 years. But finding Maude today is almost impossible. Those famous abortion episodes have been buried so deep that most streaming services won't touch them.
Ask you a question, damn it!
Number 24. Happy Days, 1974 to 1984. Happy Days seemed like the perfect wholesome family show about the 1950s. But underneath all that nostalgia was a program that quietly dealt with some serious social issues that made 1970s parents uncomfortable. The Fonzie character caused major concern among parent groups. He was a leather jacket-wearing motorcycle rider who represented teenage rebellion. Many parents worried that kids would copy his behavior and become juvenile delinquents. Episodes dealing with dating, teen pregnancy scares, and young people challenging their parents' authority made conservative viewers nervous. The show portrayed teenagers as independent thinkers rather than obedient children, which bothered traditional families. One controversial storyline involved Joni dating an older man, which sparked discussions about inappropriate relationships. Another episode dealt with book burning, taking on censorship in ways that made some viewers uncomfortable. The show also featured subtle references to changing social attitudes about race, women's roles, and family structures. While set in the 1950s, it reflected 1970s values, creating confusion about what time period it was really representing. Despite running for 10 years and becoming a cultural phenomenon, some episodes dealing with more mature themes have been edited in reruns. The innocent nostalgia trip actually contained more social commentary than many viewers realized at the time. Number 23. Diff'rent Strokes, 1978 to 1986. Diff'rent Strokes looked like an innocent family comedy about a rich white man adopting 2 black boys from Harlem. But underneath the cute catchphrases and laugh tracks was a show that tackled some of TV's darkest subjects. The famous Bicycle Man episode aired in 1983 and shocked parents across America.
This is the slammer.
The prosecuting attorney will make his opening statement.
It showed a child predator trying to hurt young Arnold. NBC got thousands of complaints from parents who said the topic was too scary for kids to watch.
Sit down, I'll handle this.
Another episode dealt with drug dealers targeting kids at school.
Oh, don't worry, she can't hurt us. I'm not worried about.
Arnold and his friend got trapped in a dangerous situation that felt too real for a comedy show.
Cup of tea, children?
Yeah, I'll have a shot. You can shoot me too.
Parents complained that their kids were having nightmares after watching. The show also showed the struggles of being black kids in a mostly white world. Arnold and Willis faced racism and had to learn how to fit in. Some episodes dealt with police treating them differently because of their skin color. Behind the scenes, the young actors were facing their own real-life problems. Despite running for 8 years, many of the show's most serious episodes have been quietly removed from reruns. Number 22. Little House on the Prairie, 1974 to 1983. It seemed like the most wholesome family show ever made, but it actually tackled dark social issues that made many viewers deeply uncomfortable. This wasn't just pioneer nostalgia, it was serious social commentary disguised as family entertainment. Episodes dealt with rape, racism, drug addiction, and domestic violence in ways that shocked.
Ma said we might never again see Grandma and Grandpa, or Aunt Docia and Aunt Ruby and Uncle George.
1970s audiences expecting simple frontier stories. One episode featured a character being sexually assaulted, which caused thousands of complaints from parents who said the topic was too mature for family viewing. The show also addressed religious intolerance, showing how different Christian denominations fought with each other. Some episodes criticized organized religion in ways that made church groups angry and demand changes to the scripts. Episodes dealing with Native Americans often portrayed white settlers as invaders and murderers, which made some viewers uncomfortable about American history. The show didn't shy away from showing the brutal realities of frontier life, including death, poverty, and social injustice. Mental illness, alcoholism, and family abuse were regular topics that pushed the boundaries of what family television was supposed to discuss. Many episodes dealing with mature themes have been edited or removed from some reruns because their content is considered too intense for modern family viewing standards.
Harry Doggett, sir. I'm sorry I'm late, Your Honor, but I was at the doctor's.
Number 21. The Brady Bunch, 1969 to 1774. It might seem like the most innocent show ever made, but it actually caused major controversy for showing America's first blended family on TV.
Record player on all night.
I told what?
You know what? Now I can't use a stereo for a whole week.
In 1969, divorced parents and stepfamilies were considered embarrassing topics that good families didn't talk about. The show never explained what happened to the kids' other parents. Were Mike and Carol divorced? Were they widowed? CBS refused to give clear answers because divorce was still scandalous. Many religious groups complained that the show was promoting broken families as normal.
And two, tell me, who are you? The Bears.
Some episodes pushed boundaries in ways that seem mild today, but shocked 1970s viewers. When Marcia got her first bra, parents complained it was too grown up for family TV. When Greg's voice started changing, some viewers said puberty topics didn't belong on their screens. The episode where Bobby got lost at the Grand Canyon scared many parents. They said it gave kids dangerous ideas about wandering away from family. What most families didn't know was that behind the perfect Brady image, the network was constantly fighting with censors. Even today, some Brady Bunch episodes have been edited for content that was considered too mature.
Your husband really is sweet. That must be why the flies love him.
Number 20. Married, with Children, 1987 to 1997. Al Bundy wasn't just a failed shoe salesman. He was television's anti-father who made parents across America panic about what their kids were watching. This Fox show took everything wholesome about family TV and threw it in the garbage. The show featured a family that hated each other. Al constantly insulted his wife Peg, calling her lazy and worthless. Their kids Kelly and Bud were portrayed as stupid and selfish. The family never learned lessons or hugged at the end of episodes like other TV families. What really shocked viewers was the show's treatment of women and sex. Al made crude jokes about women's bodies. The show featured bathroom humor, sexual references, and language that had never been heard on family television before. In 1989, a Michigan housewife named Terry Ricolta started a massive boycott campaign after watching one episode. She got major companies like McDonald's and Coca-Cola to pull their advertising.
Yeah, I thought the beer tasted like your hamburgers.
The controversy made national news and actually helped the show become more popular. Religious groups called it
This is Harry.
the most anti-family show on television. Parent organizations demanded it be moved to late night, but Fox kept it on, and it ran for 11 seasons, changing what families could say and do on TV forever.
I'm not gonna ask. You'll tell me when you feel comfortable.
Number 19. Seinfeld, 1989 to 1998. This TV show looked like a harmless comedy about four friends in New York City. But this show about nothing actually broke TV rules by featuring the most selfish, mean characters ever seen in primetime. Jerry, George, Elaine, and Kramer were terrible people who never learned from their mistakes or became better human beings.
No idea what an idiot is.
They lied, cheated, and hurt others without feeling sorry. This was shocking because TV shows were supposed to teach good values and have happy endings. The show tackled topics that made network censors nervous. Episodes dealt with masturbation, homosexuality, and birth control in ways that pushed boundaries. The famous Master of Your Domain episode about masturbation caused huge controversy but became one of the most talked about episodes in TV history. What really bothered critics was that the characters never faced real consequences for their bad behavior. They got away with being selfish and mean. Traditional family values groups worried that young people would copy these characters and become worse people. Behind the scenes, NBC executives were constantly worried about episodes that might be too controversial for mainstream audiences. Despite the complaints, Seinfeld became one of the most successful sitcoms ever, proving that audiences loved watching truly awful people on their TV screens. Number 18. All in the Family, 1971 to 1979. TV bosses at CBS are really nervous as the first episode of All in the Family goes on TV. People had already sent them angry letters and even death threats after seeing early clips.
Oh, there he is. Did you finish your book?
This was when those big fights about TV shows started all across America. In just a few weeks, people were protesting in 47 cities.
Us, we're going to be in here talking about you.
They sent bomb threats to TV stations and even talked about it in Congress.
Smoke, you don't drink, what do you do for fun?
The main character, Archie Bunker, said really mean things about people who were different from him. The show's creator, Norman Lear, wanted people to see how stupid racism looked.
I don't want to do this.
But many viewers didn't get it. They actually agreed with Archie instead of laughing at him. When famous singer Sammy Davis Jr. kissed Archie on the cheek, CBS got over 60,000 angry letters. The actor who played Archie needed bodyguards because people threatened to hurt him. The show won 22 big awards and was super popular for 5 years. But now you can't find it anywhere on TV or streaming. The show that changed everything has been hidden away.
How would Harpo Marx be? Wonderful, get him. Wait a minute, I didn't say I could get him.
Number 17. I Love Lucy, 1951 to 1957. It might seem ancient and harmless now, but in the 1950s it was groundbreaking and controversial in ways that shocked conservative America.
Problems is in this little bottle. Spoon your way to health. All you do is take a tablespoonful after every meal.
Lucy and Ricky Ricardo broke TV rules that had never been broken before.
She's been with me too long. After all, the same face, night after night.
The biggest controversy came when Lucy got pregnant in real life. CBS executives panicked because showing pregnancy on TV was considered inappropriate and embarrassing. The word pregnant was banned from the script. They had to say expecting instead. Religious groups complained that showing a married couple sharing a bed was immoral and would corrupt young viewers. Even though Lucy and Ricky slept in separate beds, just showing them in the same bedroom at night made censors nervous. Lucy's character was also controversial because she constantly disobeyed her husband and got into trouble. In the 1950s, Wives were supposed to be obedient and quiet. Lucy was loud, scheming, and independent, which worried people who believed women should stay home and follow orders. The show also broke ground by featuring a mixed marriage. Lucy was white and Ricky was Cuban. Some Southern TV stations refused to air the show because they didn't approve of interracial relationships. Even decades later, some episodes dealing with pregnancy and marriage have been edited for content that was once considered too mature for family viewing.
Evening. Let us begin.
Number 16. Saturday Night Live, 1975. When Saturday Night Live premiered in October 1975, NBC had no idea they were unleashing television's most dangerous late-night experiment. This wasn't just comedy. It was live, uncensored chaos that could explode into controversy at any moment. The show immediately shocked audiences with political sketches that made fun of presidents, senators, and other powerful people in ways that had never been seen on TV. Politicians complained that SNL was too mean and unfair in its portrayals. Religious groups were outraged by sketches that made fun of Christianity and other religions. The show featured curse words, sexual jokes, and drug references that pushed network standards to their limits. Because it was broadcast live, there was no way to edit out offensive content. Musical guests often caused their own controversies. Sinead O'Connor tore up a picture of the Pope on live TV. Other performers made political statements or used language that shocked late-night audiences. What viewers didn't know was that behind the scenes, NBC censors were having constant battles with the show's creators about what could and couldn't be broadcast. Many classic SNL episodes from the 1970s have been heavily edited or completely removed from reruns because their content is now considered too offensive for modern audiences. Number 15. The Muppet Show, 1976 to 81. It seemed like innocent puppet entertainment, but it was actually one of TV's sneakiest rule breakers. Hidden behind cute felt characters were jokes that went completely over kids' heads but shocked their parents. The show featured guest stars making adult jokes, sexual innuendos, and references to drinking and violence that puppet shows had never included before. Miss Piggy's aggressive behavior toward Kermit included physical violence that some parents found inappropriate for children's viewing. Many episodes included jokes about death, adult relationships, and mature themes disguised as silly puppet humor. The Swedish chef's cooking segments often involved dangerous kitchen accidents that parents worried might influence young viewers to copy. Guest stars like Alice Cooper, Vincent Price, and other adult entertainers brought content that pushed the boundaries of family-friendly programming. Their musical numbers and comedy sketches often contained references that children didn't understand, but adults found questionable. Religious groups complained about episodes featuring supernatural themes, magic, and characters that seemed to promote non-Christian beliefs. Despite winning multiple awards and running for 5 successful seasons, certain episodes and segments have been quietly removed from modern broadcasts because their adult humor is now considered too mature for today's children's programming standards.
An announcement.
Number 14. Soap, 1977 to 1981. Before Soap even showed on TV, it was already famous for making people really angry. The trouble started 6 months before it aired.
Jody Dallas.
Appendicitis.
When ABC told people what the show would be about. Religious groups went crazy.
Oh, I'm in for a sex change operation. Oh, no.
The show had gay characters, cheating, murder, and even someone talking to the devil.
How many times did we go to the bathroom?
I don't know. I went twice.
Church groups told people to boycott it before anyone had even watched it. ABC lost over $8 million because companies didn't want to buy commercials. Billy Crystal played TV's first main gay character. He needed security guards to protect him because people sent death threats.
What I'm trying to say is, why don't we go upstairs?
One story had a character who thought the devil was inside him. Another had a criminal who only talked to his pet bird. What ABC didn't tell people was the secret fights happening with TV censors about how to handle all the angry viewers. Lots of people watched the show. TV critics said it was really smart and funny, but now Soap has almost disappeared from TV. You can't find it on streaming services. The show that made fun of everything now only lives in people's memories. Number 13. Charlie's Angels, 1976 to 81. It looked like harmless detective fun, but it actually caused a massive cultural war about how women should be portrayed on television. The show featured 3 beautiful women solving crimes while wearing revealing outfits that made conservative America very angry. Parent groups complained that the angels wore bikinis, tight clothes, and low-cut tops that were inappropriate for primetime family viewing. They worried that young girls would think they needed to dress provocatively to be successful or important. The show was criticized for focusing more on the women's looks than their detective skills.
You could catch a jet from LAX.
Are you kidding?
Oh, I never kid on Wednesdays.
Critics called it jiggle TV because of the way the actresses moved and dressed. Women's rights groups were divided. Some said it showed strong female characters, while others said it turned women into sex objects. Religious organizations complained about episodes featuring the angels going undercover in nightclubs, massage parlors, and other adult entertainment venues. These storylines exposed family audiences to environments that many parents felt were inappropriate. Here's what ABC didn't want viewers to know. Behind the scenes, the network was secretly maintaining blacklists of topics, storylines, and even guest stars that were considered too controversial for mainstream television. Despite running for 5 years, many episodes dealing with adult themes have been heavily edited in syndication to remove inappropriate content.
I'll have a Brandy Alexander.
Number 12. The Mary Tyler Moore Show, 1970 to 1977. Mary Richards seemed harmless enough, a single woman working at a TV news station in Minneapolis. But in 1970, that simple premise was revolutionary and scary to many Americans who believed women should be married and staying home. The show broke new ground by showing a woman choosing career over marriage. Mary was 30, single, and happy about it. She took birth control pills, dated different men, and lived alone. For many viewers, this was shocking and wrong.
I'm supposed to see a Mr. Grant about a secretarial job?
It's been filled.
One episode that caused huge controversy showed Mary's friend getting a divorce. In 1970, divorce was still considered shameful by many people. The show treated it as a normal life choice, which made religious groups very angry. Another groundbreaking moment came when the show dealt with equal pay for women. Mary discovered she was making less money than the man who had her job before her. When she asked for equal pay, it sparked nationwide discussions about women's rights. The show also dealt with topics like premarital sex, women's liberation, and workplace harassment. While the show is still available today, many of its most controversial episodes about women's rights have been edited or removed from some reruns. Number 11. Dallas, 1978 to 1991. Dallas wasn't just a primetime soap opera. It was television's first family show to celebrate greed, betrayal, and moral corruption as entertainment. The Ewing family made being terrible people look glamorous and fun. J.R. Ewing became television's most famous villain, but many viewers worried that he was also becoming a role model. He lied, cheated, stole, and destroyed lives without ever feeling sorry. Critics complained that the show was teaching people that being evil was acceptable if you were rich and successful. The show featured adultery, business corruption, and family members trying to destroy each other in ways that had never been seen on primetime television. Religious groups complained that Dallas was promoting immoral behavior and making it seem normal and exciting. Episodes dealing with alcoholism, mental illness, and domestic violence pushed boundaries that made network censors nervous. The famous Who Shot JR? Storyline included attempted murder as a cliffhanger, which some critics said was too violent for family viewing. The show's portrayal of wealthy people as corrupt and heartless also made some viewers uncomfortable. Despite running for 13 years and becoming a global phenomenon, some episodes dealing with violence and adult themes have been edited in syndication to remove content considered too mature.
New team, Carson and McMahon. I understand that Joanna was worth.
Number 10. The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, 1962 to 1992. Johnny Carson seemed like harmless late-night entertainment, but The Tonight Show was actually pushing boundaries and breaking rules that had never been broken on network television. Carson's monologue and interviews featured content that shocked conservative America.
To know that. Was she any good? The first day she was extraordinary.
Carson made jokes about politics, sex, and social issues that were considered inappropriate for network TV.
In the cheer whiteness test. This dress is much whiter than dress B.
His political humor often made presidents and politicians angry, leading to complaints that late-night television was becoming too partisan and disrespectful. Guest interviews sometimes went off-script in ways that made NBC censors panic. Carson allowed controversial figures and adult entertainers to appear on the show, bringing content that family-oriented viewers found offensive and inappropriate. The show's treatment of women guests often involved flirting and sexual innuendo that would be considered inappropriate by today's standards. Carson's interactions with female celebrities sometimes crossed lines that made viewers uncomfortable. Carson also featured comedians and musical guests who pushed content boundaries with adult humor, political commentary, and social criticism that challenged mainstream values. What audiences didn't realize was that NBC was secretly editing and censoring content even after it aired, removing segments that were considered too controversial for later broadcasts. Number 9. Monty Python's Flying Circus, 1969 to 1774. When Monty Python's Flying Circus aired on PBS in America, it brought British comedy that attacked religion, politics, and social values in ways that shocked viewers. The show featured sketches mocking Christianity, including the famous Spanish Inquisition bit that religious groups found deeply offensive. The Python team used curse words, sexual references, and violent imagery that pushed public television boundaries. Their cross-dressing, homosexual references, and anti-war messages made conservative viewers extremely uncomfortable. Many PBS stations received angry letters demanding the show be removed. Some stations moved it to late night or refused to air certain episodes considered too offensive for family viewing. The show's anarchic approach confused American audiences used to traditional comedy structures. Religious and political groups complained it promoted anti-American and anti-Christian values through bizarre British humor. Despite becoming a cult classic, many Python episodes have been edited or removed from PBS reruns because their content is considered too controversial for modern public television standards.
Ouch! Sorry, I forgot to shave this morning.
Number 8. The Ugliest Girl in Town, 1968 to 1770. It featured a premise so controversial that most people today can't believe it existed on network television. The show starred a man who dressed as a woman to become a successful fashion model, creating gender confusion that made 1960s audiences deeply uncomfortable. Timothy Blair disguised himself as Timmy to help his girlfriend's modeling career, but became a famous female model while hiding his true identity. The show dealt with cross-dressing and sexual confusion in ways considered extremely inappropriate for family television. Many episodes featured Timothy in romantic situations with men who didn't know she was actually male. These storylines pushed the boundaries of what network censors would allow on primetime television. Conservative viewers complained the show promoted behavior against family values. Some stations received protests demanding immediate cancellation. ABC quickly realized they had created a programming nightmare. The show was quietly canceled after 2 seasons, and most episodes have never been shown in reruns because their content is considered too problematic for modern audiences. Number 7. The Good Life, 1971 to 1972. It broke television's biggest taboo by featuring an interracial family situation when many Americans still considered such relationships controversial. The show dealt with racism and social inequality in ways network television had never attempted. Episodes showed the family facing discrimination from neighbors, schools, and community organizations. One episode featured being refused restaurant service. Another showed the child facing bullying at school from students who didn't understand the family situation. Religious groups complained the show promoted unnatural family arrangements against traditional values. Some Southern stations refused to air certain episodes, claiming they were too controversial for their audiences. The show also addressed class differences and economic inequality, making some viewers uncomfortable about social justice issues. Despite critical praise for tackling important social issues, The Good Life was canceled after 1 season. The network decided the controversy wasn't worth the trouble, and most episodes have been buried. Number 6. Rollout, 1973 to 1974. It was NBC's attempt at a black military comedy during Vietnam, but became controversial for featuring stereotypes that made both black and white audiences uncomfortable. The show followed an all-black World War II transportation unit using comedy that relied on offensive racial stereotypes. Civil rights groups complained the show made fun of black military service instead of honoring their contributions. Characters spoke in exaggerated dialects and behaved in ways that reinforced negative images. White audiences were uncomfortable with war comedy during ongoing Vietnam conflict. The show tried addressing military racism, but played serious issues for laughs instead of dramatic impact. Military veterans felt the comedy disrespected real soldiers who served with honor, making light of serious discrimination issues black service members faced. NBC canceled after one season, making little effort to preserve episodes now considered embarrassing examples of 1970s racial insensitivity. Number 5. The Bob Crane Show, 1975. This show carried baggage from Bob Crane's controversial personal life that made executives and audiences uncomfortable. This wasn't just a failed sitcom. It was a career rehabilitation attempt that backfired spectacularly. Crane was trying to rebuild his image after rumors about his private life circulated in Hollywood. NBC executives dealt with complaints about his behavior considered inappropriate for family television. Behind the scenes, cast and crew reported uncomfortable working conditions affecting production quality. Religious groups organized boycotts before the show premiered, demanding NBC remove him from television. Networks were beginning to secretly maintain lists of performers whose personal lives made them too risky for family programming. The show was canceled after 4 months, and most episodes have been buried because of controversy surrounding the star's later tragic death.
Problem, even though they loved each other and liked.
Number 4. Turnabout, 1979. Featured a married couple who magically switched bodies, creating gender confusion that made 1970s audiences uncomfortable. The premise involved spouses Sam and Penny switching bodies after encountering a magical statue. Episodes featured the body-switched couple maintaining their marriage while dealing with opposite gender experiences. These storylines included sexual confusion and relationship dynamics that shocked conservative viewers. Religious groups complained the show made fun of traditional marriage and promoted ideas against family values. They worried children might become confused about appropriate gender roles. Number 3. Busting Loose, 1977 to 1978. Followed a young man living the single life in New York City, featuring sexual freedom and adult themes that made family hour television uncomfortable. The show dealt with dating, casual relationships, and young adult independence in ways that shocked conservative viewers. Episodes featured the main character in various romantic situations, dealing with roommates, and exploring adult themes that parents felt were inappropriate for primetime family viewing. The show's treatment of sex and relationships was considered too mature for younger audiences. CBS struggled with how to handle the show's adult content during family viewing hours. Many episodes were edited or moved to later time slots to avoid complaints from parent groups and religious organizations. Number 2. In the Beginning, 1978. Featured a Catholic priest and a nun working together in Baltimore, creating religious comedy that made both Catholics and other Christians extremely uncomfortable. The show dealt with religious themes in ways that many viewers found disrespectful and inappropriate. Episodes featured the priest and nun dealing with modern social problems while trying to maintain their religious vows. The show's treatment of celibacy, religious authority, and church politics made religious groups angry and demand changes. Catholic organizations complained that the show made fun of serious religious commitments and portrayed clergy in ways that were disrespectful to their faith. Some episodes dealt with the characters' struggles with their vows in ways that religious viewers found offensive. The show also tackled social issues like poverty, racism, and family problems through a religious lens, but often did so in ways that made light of serious problems instead of treating them respectfully. Number 1. 3 for the Road, 1975. Followed a widowed father traveling across America with his 2 sons in a mobile home, but the show's treatment of family issues and social problems made many viewers uncomfortable. The premise seemed wholesome, but episodes dealt with serious topics that pushed family television boundaries. The show featured the family encountering racism, poverty, and social injustice as they traveled through different communities. These storylines forced viewers to confront uncomfortable truths about American society that many preferred to ignore. Episodes dealing with the father's grief over his wife's death and the children's emotional problems were considered too heavy for family entertainment. Parents complained that the show was too depressing for children to watch, These controversial sitcoms and forgotten TV shows have been systematically erased from our vintage television landscape. Today's streaming algorithms wouldn't dare recommend these banned TV shows that made families uncomfortable and started nationwide debates. We've traded shocking 70s sitcoms for safe entertainment, obscure sitcoms that challenged minds for content that merely confirms existing beliefs. These vanished sitcoms and 70s TV fails didn't just reflect their era, they transformed it, forcing America to confront difficult truths about race, gender, and values. In sanitizing our retro TV shows, we've lost television's power to provoke and surprise. These most controversial TV shows created classic TV controversies that shaped TV history 1970s forever. Maybe we're not afraid of offensive 70s sitcoms themselves, but what they might make us think about today.